Okay. Attendance. David Israel is absent. Ed Grossman,
Yes.
Dominic Garnaja,
Here.
Stuart Richland.
Yes.
I'm here. Patricia Caputo.
Here.
David Boaz,
Yes.
Joanne Robinson,
Here.
Donald Foster,
Here I am.
James Borsos,
Present.
Richard Handelsman,
Present.
and Jerry Sadowski. Did I miss anybody? We have 3 guests in the room. All right, Dominic, it's your meeting.
All right, do we have David Fornes?
You can't make it today.
Well,
I just listed the people that are here.
we've got, a proposal for asphalt repair with Atlantic Southern. And if you look on the first page, you can see why.
Yeah, this was a section that, right underneath this area, the storm drain pipe collapsed. It has to be relined, so now we have to fix the next one is on the corner of, North Drive and Inverness Street. Get a lot of, we're getting a lot of deterioration at that spot, and, I don't know why, I think it's just caused, making turns, and just a lot of traffic.
Message, okay.
Thank you. This is Falkirk Street down the block from Joanne's place. I don't know what's going on there. We're gonna dig it up. Let's see. I think it's just subsided into North Canal. I figure it now and again. Waltham. Pretty self-explanatory. This is the reason I rushed this job. This is a pretty small batch of jobs. I usually don't bring you this small batch, but I gotta get this walkway at Wellington straightened out. Overnight, it just became way worse. So I don't want anybody tripping from it. Other than that, pretty much what you see. Oh, take a look at West Drive, South corner of South Drive. This is something that I kept needing to get to, and all right, here's the deal. I mean, you can see the deterioration, and that's the trucks running over the edges. I'm gonna get the edges fixed and reinforced. But what concerns me here is, and this is a while ago, there's a bus stop there. And there's no walkway or anything leading to that bus stop, so this ladder crosswalk basically ends in grass. There's kind of no reason for it to be there. We're gonna have to decide whether we wanna make a walkway to go to that bus stop, or just make the bus stop disappear. I don't think it's in a good spot. I think it's too close to the main road. It's underneath the stop sign. I think the later is just make it go away. And I'm gonna bring this to transportation. Just get a vote from them to eliminate that bus stop. First I said, buses shouldn't be stopping. I mean, it's just a great spot. But I very rarely see people actually getting on and off the bus there. Mostly I see people just sitting chatting there. But I think the easiest solution is to eliminate the bus stop. And then we have a lot of crosswalk that just ends no place. I don't know why, but it's there.
Makes no sense.
By the way, so take a look at that, line of crosswalk. Look at those cracks.
Yeah,
That's the cracks in the, we use the ablative paint.
yes,
That's what happens, this is basically like another layer of asphalt.
yes.
That could be filled in, but this is exactly what we predicted would happen when we made that deal, that we have to use regular latex paint for everything.
Right.
The ladder crosswalks we're gonna use,
That's what it's for.
so not a big deal, it can be.
We don't really need to do anything right now.
No, it's fine. And look, that's only 2 years worth of, it just goes to show you how much traffic's going to be, that's, all that rub off is just 2 years, we only did it 2 years ago.
When we first looked into doing this glass impacted paint.
Yeah.
On the crosswalk, I don't know where the book is, but I did a little bit of research. And what it is, it's like putting sandpaper, coarse sandpaper on the ground.
Yeah.
So everybody that goes across it, every car, every time they go over it, you're taking some of that sandpaper away. So even though it costs 3 times as much as regular paint, the life expectancy could be half or less because of the traffic that goes over it.
And the trade-off is it's another.
right. It does reflect for a little bit, but once you start wearing, it's actually ground up glass in the paint.
Right.
So to me, at the time, it was 3 times where, if it was a $25,000 job, it became $75,000 because of the product that had to be installed correctly, has to be put down while it's hot. If the paint is not put down at the right temperature, it doesn't adhere correctly, it wears. And I was against using, even though it's good for a little while, that it reflects, it's not something that is actually beneficial and for the long term.
So as usual, we compromised.
Yeah.
And the compromise was we'll just use it where it's critical, which would be ladder crosswalks. And these still light up pretty good, even though they're not as much as they used to.
Yes, Richard?
If we eliminate later on the bus stop itself, will that crosswalk also be
That's
eliminated?
good. Well, that's what I'm saying. You have a
Yeah.
crosswalk that goes nowhere.
Nowhere.
And then I have people walking on the grass.
Right,
Well, you
Okay.
can't blame them. They see a crosswalk, they cross, and then they're in the street. So I'm wondering if
Maybe you
this
should take it
take
away.
Right.
It makes more sense.
it can happen, but I'm gonna get an engineer opinion on this because
Okay.
this one is, I mean, this is a high traffic area. Civil engineer needs to weigh in on this. I think it's a
No,
ladder
they're walking
crosswalk.
on
to nowhere.
asphalt and then they're gonna go on grass.
They do, every morning,
They're gonna
I see them and I can't yell at them because we gave them a crosswalk to go to grass. Yes, Richard.
if it's not eliminated, are there pedestrian warning signs? Like at the other crosswalks?
No, not here.
Oh, okay.
So this is something that
That's
kind
another.
of dropped for a while and now it's on my radar.
Okay.
You know.
David, you had your hand up?
Yes, I have a question. I've reviewed
Hold on,
these.
Ed, hang on one
Can you hear me?
Hold on, go ahead, David.
I reviewed the package and I have a question.
Ed, would you stop for a second? Somebody's talking. Go ahead, David.
I asked you, I thought you recognized me. If you didn't, I'll wait.
Go ahead, David, you had the floor, go ahead. You're speaking.
Let's not be in a rush to eliminate that crosswalk. The real big problem is that the stop sign is so far back from where the actual four corner intersection is there.
Right.
So let's be cautious on how quickly. we
Well,
move.
we're not looking to do anything immediately. I wanna keep an eye on this. I want Joel to keep an eye on it because we all use that crosswalk.
Exactly.
But as far as where that stop sign is,
That's interesting.
your engineer placed those. That's why I kept it where it
Yeah.
was.
Good, and the people coming across from. I forget what the associations are,
Camden on one side and Wellington on
but
the
it's
other.
not quite four square, it's a
Yeah.
small circle, so it makes it difficult there. That's all. Thank
That's
you.
it?
Anyway.
All right, Ed, you can talk now.
Thank you. I started to say I reviewed the package and I have one question for Donald.
Go for it, Ed.
If I recall, at a finance meeting, I recommended that we have an engineer check whether or not it pays to go forward. And it was seconded and it was supposed to be taken up by the bid committee because we're spending money. And what I see here is only a small portion of what's being done on the village. So the question is, are we wasting money on keep patching at this time? I don't know if we ever
Okay,
got
so Ed, to answer your
an
question.
engineer. My question simply is, did we get a question which was supposed, an engineer which was voted on?
No, it's no engineer. And as far as your question, and as I heard it, was when do we when do we decide that we're spending too much on repairs, that it doesn't pay, we might as well redo the roads? That's kind of a judgment call. Because look, I can patch roads from now till the end of time, and they're good patches, and the patches will last longer than the road. The question is, what's your appetite for patches? So
Well, if
I can
you,
tell you,
excuse me,
I'm responding to your question.
you asked me
Fine, I'll let
and
you
I'm
know.
telling you, it was voted
You're
on
just
and
gonna keep talking,
approved.
Ed, and once again, I'm gonna answer your question as I
The
understand.
question is, have we retained someone, an
And
engineer?
I've already answered your question and I've said no. I've received no direction
You,
in that
you said
regard.
no. And my question is why?
Okay, thank you for your input, Ed. We'll move on.
Yeah,
Alright,
back to the chair. Are you looking for, I'll make a motion that we accept the proposal,
Yeah, so, it's a proposal.
10,000 something change.
$10,000, $10,100.
it's okay, I'll do it in discussion. No big-
Okay, so,
Sure, what do you want?
Is there a second?
so I make,
Oh, sorry.
okay.
Alright, we're in discussion. Alright, so.
Dominic, let Dominic write, I made the motion, Dominic, to accept the proposal,
For $10,000.
$10,100. Okay, and it was seconded by either Patricia or David. Well, we need it for our records. Okay, so David Boaz seconded the motion.
Okay, so you're looking at a proposal, and as I said, this is a smaller tranche of repairs than I normally bring, I normally bring you 40 to 60 grand, I'm bringing you 10. $10,100 works out to 1,100 square feet. That works out to 918 a square foot, which is somewhat higher than in previous, and I would attribute that to being a smaller batch, but also some of these repairs are quite involved, more than the usual repairs.
You also have to
It's
think
probably
of inflation and the cost
Exactly.
of the raw materials they're going to use, are going to
It's
drive that
an
up.
oil product, it tracks up
Yeah.
and down. But I want to bring you to that, I wanted to bring that to the committee's attention, this is about $3 higher than we've been paying. In the last few
Everything went
jobs.
up.
That's what you come down to filter cost.
I came up with 918,
Okay, it's a little over $7 for the last repairs.
yeah, that's right,
Yeah.
So it's not that bad.
No, compared to the prices.
but when that happens, I kind of want to bring it to you guys' attention. I want to address Ed's comment a little bit while we're in discussion. And we've gone through this over and over again. Yes, I can, without even rolling the report, I can tell you guys that we are incrementally spending more money each year on repairs. And I would say that the rate of deterioration is increasing. I just see it all around the place. The question is, where do you get to the point where, all right, the last time you milled and all the roads, what you spent, 5.5 mil? Figure 11 or more now, right? So, I could spend $100K a year for a long time before we get to.
$15 million, $10 million.
Yeah. So that's kind of my answer, and again, what's your appetite for patches?
Well, you said-
Other than weeds, I lived and died with patches and,
How long have they been wasted?
oh, patches are good.
So then,
Patches,
so why would we want to?
Then these don't spend the.
Exactly.
Some communities have a problem with patches.
Well, I don't.
Dominic has a question for you.
I believe that in the past 5 years, people bringing in new furniture because they moved in. And bringing out the refrigerator because it's too small.
The truck.
So it's the trucking that's doing the damage.
We all know that we're in a cycle right now where apartments are being sold.
Yes.
And people are coming in and they're doing renovations, they're bringing in, and that's cyclical, it ebbs and flows. Definitely, also the garbage trucks, also, it's going on.
That's Thursday morning, when garbage trucks are working.
But I'm also seeing, I don't know the correct word, but kind of a delamination, I'm starting to see places where the asphalt is coming apart, becoming gravel again.
Yeah.
And that's in front of your place, matter of fact.
Yeah.
So that's happening, and that's something we need to keep an eye on, but honestly, when are we getting to another, $10+ million job? It'd be a long time before we say, hey, we're throwing good money after bad, that's my opinion.
We have discussed this over and over again when we were sitting out in front. The tremendous number or increase
Sure.
of vehicles coming in, but larger vehicles, not the ones that we eliminated, but the ones that within the range that we allow in.
Mhm.
And when you add that to the increased range, so that we've had undermining the roads,
That's happening too.
eroding the under part of the roads. This is what's happening and there's nothing you can do about it. It's just a course, matter of course, this is, are you gonna repair the whole thing? No, I would wait.
I think we have a ways to go.
Patch here and there and that's it.
So it's supposed, so in other words, we just continue to wait.
Yeah.
No, unless they get direction otherwise.
I wanna put my 2 cents in here. I think we should start considering, once we get to what we feel is somewhere between 11 and $15 million, when we spend 10% of that in a year to do patchwork, we should consider fixing the majority of the road. Cause
It's $1 million a year.
it's $1 million a year. When we get to $1 million a year, we should consider redoing the roads. Before that, it doesn't make sense.
I think we're walking in our sarcophaguses, but
The rest of Richard,
Does this proposal have any warranties, guarantees, left,
yeah.
life of
Sure, but
service?
I don't even include them anymore because you've seen them so many times, but yeah, the work is warranted, and I do occasionally call back and say, yeah, that's a bad job, redo.
Yeah, it's just, you said this was done 2 years ago and now it needs again.
No, I think what the 2 years ago was the strike. No, it's that warranty is long since expired.
Alright,
As far as this vendor goes, the warranty is me. Very occasionally, I call them back and say, all right, come on,
alright, they want the job.
and they just fix it. Yeah, Gene.
When was the last time the roads were completely redone?
2000. I bought 2008 and I bought 2010.
That sounds right.
And we used this asphalt company before.
Yeah, this isn't the company that did that job, by the way.
Yeah, but we've used them for patching before.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
Okay.
what we got to, is this is the bids
Yeah,
infrastructure
right,
committee, so occasionally, a fellow like you says, well, if this is the bids, where's the other bid? With this particular vendor, we just decided that we're gonna have a favorite vendor for a year at a time, and then periodically, works out to be about once a year, every year. And we've tried other vendors and not happy with their work, and we wind up back with this one, and anytime this committee wants to bid out.
Yeah, fair enough.
Let me know.
And then my last question is, we have a civil engineer that we use like on retainer that we have as.
A retainer, no,
Preferred vendor civil engineer.
yeah, Simmons and White.
Okay.
They know the problem.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, Simmons and White was,
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you a report on South Canal in a bit, but yeah.
Remember one thing, when we did the roads years ago,
Yeah.
we didn't do them properly. We just covered over everything. We did not fill the cracks because I stood up and I whatever we did.
Yeah.
We didn't really, we just covered over
Yeah.
everything. So eventually, if you're going to cover over cracks,
You were given a choice, you were given the
no
choice of,
worries.
you were given the choice of, now look, when I got in the delegate assembly. But you were given a choice, and I watched all those meetings from Queens.
Exactly. I want to.
The big job, which would be take the roads down to their original base and build them up fresh.
But David did not want to do it.
That was 3 times the price, I think, but it wasn't David, the
Was his was the only signature, I know more than everybody thinks, his was the only signature on that contract. Which
As it-
should never have
as
been,
it should be, you know,
no, it shouldn't be,
the president
absolutely
signs
not,
contracts.
not alone, you're wrong, on a
But-
$5 million job, wrong.
Anyway, the choice was made to go with a mill and overlay. In other words, you grind down the old asphalt a certain amount and then you overlay it. You guys went with the cheaper option. I wasn't around when that decision was made.
Maybe my one little voice didn't count.
I know that there was questions over the contract.
You were here for this.
Yeah, I wasn't in the office, but I know there was a lot of questions that brought up by certain people.
I remember delegate assemblies was people got up and said, why don't we just redo the roads? And the answer was money.
I remember Herb getting up on stage and saying, where's the bond? And we
That's
did
right.
this, and he said, we don't need a bond.
A performance bond. I never would have, if I was the king.
Yeah.
I'd quit if you said we're doing this job without a project.
Exactly.
Yeah,
engineer.
there was, I don't think it was completely laid out on the table, all the possibilities.
Right.
That's my personal
Your
feeling.
king at the time felt he was qualified to oversee that work. I'm
Well,
not, I am not.
it's
Well, I can understand why there
It's
would
too
be
late.
questions
I
today,
will speak up loudly.
Yeah.
And again,
but I don't think that would happen again, not if
I
we're
think
in
when
this.
when this decision comes to this table,
Mhm.
it'll be a urn, like a plaque where the burial is.
well, I'll be gone too, I'm already in.
All right, let's call the question.
Yeah, please.
Right.
Your comment,
To accept the
motion to accept,
proposal for $10,100. To the applicant years.
Yeah.
Private one. You said that?
That's what we're paying.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Okay. David Boaz.
Usually the spot where Dave Israel says that asphalt is it's a malady of the body part.
No, take that off the tape.
Strike it from the
I'm
record.
already missing.
All right, so hold the vote.
to accept for $10,000.
$10,000.
100.
100.
Okay.
Yeah,
We're gonna do the vote, you do the vote, call the vote.
here we go.
Who's on the list?
Stuart Richard.
Yes.
Melissa Knapper,
Yes,
Patricia Caputa.
Yes.
David Boaz.
Yes.
Joanne Robinson,
Yes.
Yourself.
Arnold Foster, non-voting.
Folks, enough.
David Vaness is absent.
absent,
John Crowe.
absent,
Richard Mandelson,
Yes.
Jerry Sitt.
Yes.
Yourself.
Take yours.
Lloyd Crossman.
Ed Grossman,
No,
he votes
as
no,
I
no vote for
stated
Ed,
before,
no vote for
no.
Ed.
That's a no.
Thank
We
you,
heard
Ed.
you, we heard you.
Got it.
7 yeas and
You're not in.
perhaps two names. So it carries.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, guys, I got a few quick updates for you. The Pearson's North Canal, as I reported last month, the survey work is done, the land clearing is done. We are now waiting for the final report from Simmons and White. I don't have any EPA on that yet. I'm sorry, that's South Canal. We'll talk about South Canal. So that it's progressing. I'm supposed to appear at court, no, the county commissioners meeting to give a statement of support for the Reflection Bay project, which includes that canal. I think next week,
Okay.
and that's part of our deal for the 750K that they
Right.
gave us. However, Rod has not cleared me to make that statement yet. He wants some language in the in the agreement that protects South Canal and our deal. There is the application is to create in Reflection Bay, a special taxation district. And it's the infrastructure. And that's on them, that's for the new homeowners. It's a bond, they're floating a bond, and we're supposed to give our support for that. Rod's not as yet told me, so unless I see otherwise, unless I get actual statement to. You know, won't be me writing a statement, let's put it that way. We're under the attorney's guidance on this, so I don't wanna let you guys know. That's South Canal. North Canal, there's a little bit of progress there. Rod and his son Noah Tennyson have gone back and forth with the county tax assessor's office, the tax collector's office. The plan at this point is for Yuko to purchase all of the parcels that go along that canal. They currently belong to a defunct entity called Century Utilities. So the first step in getting that canal dredged would be to actually own property.
Was they the only ones? Would Florida Turnpike have anything to do with it?
No, there's no, yeah, that was one down.
Oh,
So basically, we're told now, the next step is to go to the website, we buy tax. And which I've already done, I've registered, and then you have to put in that you want to buy these parcels, and I believe once you've done that, there's an auction. And nobody else bids, and we have to pay a little bit of money, and then we own the tax certificates on those parcels. It's not ownership, that's the next step. So we'll move it forward with that. Here's where I'm gonna need a little bit of help from this committee. I spoke to David Boaz about this yesterday. And I spoke to Joanne as well. This purchasing of the parcels is quite it's time consuming. Somebody's got to sit in front of a computer and get all the PCN numbers for these parcels, and then go into the website and put in the tax certificates, right? Nobody's paid taxes on these things. I just don't have the time right now. It's a lot. I was hoping there might be someone, well, actually, a suggestion was made to me that we hire a title company. Obviously, we don't want to pay a lawyer to do this, that's just a lot of money for clerical work. It suggested to me that a title company can do it, but that's money too. I was thinking, maybe there's someone who has some experience working in county government. Why take the front of the project? What do you think, James?
I know that.
There's some value in the title company because you have recourse if there's a mistake made.
That leads the way, very nice, I like you.
That
was my suggestion.
So, it was Joanne's suggestion.
Yeah, you know, for safety.
It's money, what do you guys think? I mean, I don't even know what.
Find out how much.
How much?
We need to find out what a title company would charge us to identify and document all of those parcels.
And then maybe how
I
much
think there's
stuff
about
is
6 of
prohibited,
them.
but I see it being very safe and conservative to use.
I mean, I already know the PCNs, I know that, I've identified the parcels, actually, Ron.
How many?
Worse.
How many did you?
12.
Well,
15.
Oh, okay.
I'll know it, okay.
Yeah,
I'll
I
take
mean,
it.
I already have a look at the PCNs, it's just, and I've already registered UCO on the auction website. At the tax collectors, basically what I need somebody to do is go take those numbers, find them in the list of available parcels. And click and say, you know, we wanna buy this one.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
I
Thank you.
still think that a title search company is a prudent move
I agree.
in a closing, even if we bid on them and acquire them. You have that title insurance, just like you would if you were buying them yourself. I mean,
Yeah,
you know, that,
we're not at the purchasing part.
not yet, yeah.
We're at the buying the tax certificates, which is essentially a loan, right? We're buying the certificate and. If anybody wants to redeem it, they have to pay us back with interest. We would pay ourselves back with interest.
Yeah.
My understanding, and we'll talk, but yeah. That's it, guys, except tomorrow and Saturday, Curtis Landscaping is coming down to take all those trees down along your fence in Southampton. That's pretty much what I got.
Mr. Chairman?
Go ahead, Ed.
Hi, Ed.
I simply have one question. I'm listening to this.
Good.
I have requested that a tax attorney render an opinion whether this whole transaction is taxable. Has that been done?
Not by me, Ed. Far
Which-
above my pay grade.
So what you're saying is there hasn't been a tax opinion whether the transaction for $750,000 is taxable to UCO.
And I'm not gonna, I kind of don't understand why you think you need an opinion from a tax attorney, but I heard the word tax. And you're,
Okay,
and
we
you're an accountant,
received in this deal
I totally get it,
$750,000.
okay? Kind of
And my question
we're
is,
talking about,
my-
we're talking about North Canal right now, right?
Right.
I'm
Ed, we're
clarifying.
talking about the
this.
North Canal, not the South Canal.
I am referring to the $750,000
That's the South Canal.
which we received from the contract exercise, and I requested a tax attorney's opinion. Instead, Yuko asked our current accountant, who refused to give an opinion.
Ed, the
It's a lot of money
700
and can
Ed.
cost us if we treat it wrong. So,
Ed, the
not by
700
you, which means you or Yuko has not requested a tax opinion on the whole deal
Gotcha.
by Cutler.
And I'm gonna flip this one back on you. I heard the word tax and I heard the word attorney, and you are a CPA and you're the treasurer of UCO. If anyone should approach a tax attorney and get a number or a proposal on what it would cost to get that opinion, it would be you. And once you get that, bring it to your fellow officers and let them chew on it.
Okay, I have
What do you
no
think?
problem, excuse me, I have no problem doing it. They're not gonna do it for nothing. So I'll do it later today. But I want you to be aware that I personally will not pay for that opinion. I paid
No,
for,
nobody expects you to, but you also should probably consult with your fellow officers for any money is obligated to or expended, right? So go out and do a little research, yeah. I heard tax and attorney and you're the treasurer and the CPA. If this doesn't belong in your court, I don't know what is.
this contract, our current accountant refused to give an opinion. It's beyond the accountant's level.
What account are we talking about?
Unless it's given by one of the major accounting firms.
All right.
So I will inquire what they will charge and forward it to you, and if it's agreeable, I'll have them do it. And I assure you, I'll pick one of the top accounting firms in
Let
the
Ed bring
country.
this will be an officer's decision, I think.
Yeah.
Let Ed bring this proposal to the officers and let them discuss and decide.
Ed, are you aware that we're talking about the North Canal?
I don't care if we're talking about any canal, I'm talking
Okay.
about the
I'm bringing
entire
it to the
agreement
Okay,
with Cutler.
Okay,
And that is $750,000, which could be taxable at 20%. And that would be payable immediately while the project will be capitalized and will have a negative cash flow.
okay.
That's all I'm saying.
All right. Thank you, Ed.
All right, next.
you wanna discuss something, Richard?
I just wanted to point out, I was riding my bike and where Ascot Drive crosses the South Main Road, there's a
South Drive.
painted crosswalk there, but there are no signs. I just think that say pedestrian crossing, please.
Yeah, we only have them at certain crosswalks.
Okay.
Unless
Well,
there's a real need.
there
What I try to guard against is sign pollution.
is what?
When I try to guard against is sign
Sideline?
pollution, for instance, when I came
Yeah.
to work here, that entrance right there looked like we were going into East Germany. I mean, it was in Cyrillic and there were so many things to read going in that people were slowing down to read them. The
Right,
first year that I worked here, I took down over 600 pounds of signs and took to scrap them. Signs are very nice, but signs can A, be ugly, and B, cause more problems than they.
and they solve.
So,
That's all.
Alright.
There's a need, yeah, absolutely. I put them up at the four corners over by, you know,
The medical building.
and if you notice, they're already 10 years old. I'm gonna replace them. They're fading.
Alright.
So, yeah.
Anything else?
Yeah.
Thanks for sticking on the project out back with the benches. I think it's a big safety feature there. It looks good. Imagine what a nice job for us there.
Whose idea was that?
I'm not gonna mention any names.
Well,
I don't have to brag about my expertise.
So,
But Jack, let me ask you something.
I think that it looks very nice and someone really could have fallen there. I'm glad you just stayed on top of that.
Well, except for one thing. When you get up from that bench, you have to go a little further, or if you hit the curb, that's there.
that curb should have been
Curb
taken
should
down,
have been Taken down.
Like I said,
yeah.
I know,
We-
that's a-
we noticed that today, that-
What curve are we talking?
They left the curb to hold the grass in place.
Yeah.
So now when you get off the bench and you take the first step, the first thing you're doing is walking into the D curb on both sides. It should have been cut back so that when you get off the.
If it needs to be, it can be.
We just happened to notice that it's a trip hazard now. It was worse before, but it's worse now, because now they got a 5-inch D curve that they're gonna fall over.
I just reminded me, got another job coming up next week. Over by East Hampton C, the back of the masonry wall is worn out. It's gotta be treated and pressure clean. Problem is I got a fence there, I got permanent fencing. So it's a little bit involved. I've gotta get a budget gate, a fence and gate are gonna come the morning of the job and remove 2 sections of fence. On either side. That fence is gonna be open for about a day and a half. So we're gonna have to have security, keep an eye on it. And then as soon as the Pergolesi finish painting the 2 sections, they're gonna come back and so another project. Getting back to project.
Just keep a.
Richie, you had your hand up?
Yeah, as long as we're talking about painting, the last 2 speed bumps on the way to Hastings, you cross over the North Canal. And look, the speed bumps and you
It's on Jose's list.
good, cause I see all the paint's gone, okay, good.
all those bicycle riders just going like
Yeah.
50 miles.
We hit them in a different spot each
Wearing
time.
the paint off. You're right.
One good thing that those big trucks on the outside on Haverhill are not parking there anymore.
Now and again, a lot of times you won't see them because I get up early, they're there, and we actually have a road corporal from the police
Yeah.
department that I can call directly, and he just goes down and he can find the phone number of the person who owns it somehow, and calls them. Almost always they're across the street at tennis club.
Right.
They're being beans over there, and I think these guys like sleep there. It happens from time to time. Alright, guys.
That's it.
I'm ready for lunch.
I make the motion, we adjourn.
I'll say,
I third.
Thank you all.
thank you,
Thank you.
Don.